Well, Paige and Craig's post-breakup relationship has entered a new level of hell.
Dante, move over.
Get out of the way, Dante. There's an inferno coming. It's Paige and Craig. They have gone completely nuclear on each other. Gloves are off. Darts are being shot, or that's not one of the things, but horrible, horrible. These two people, they're fighting nonstop. Paige is wearing a shirt that has hellfire on it. You sent me that. It says, "Move over, Dante."
Yeah, it says Dan Brown's Inferno.
Oh my God. Is that that's what that was about, right?
Yeah.
Because he's Dan Brown is famously, he hit all of the huge Italian literature high water marks.
Items.
Da Vinci, obviously. Michelangelo. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't even remember I know that Dante's like death mask is involved. I don't remember like what the puzzle is within or like what is being found or whatever, but
Probably different like layers. Like he's like, whoa, I'm at the first one, and then there's a clue there. If I was writing it, I'm no Dan Brown. But I think I've said this on Turtle Time, but I went to Firenze, or as Americans say, Florence, and I went to the church where it has Leonardo da Vinci, Dante, Michelangelo, and one other famous person. They're all buried together. They took all of their bones from wherever they were buried 500 years ago.
Shop.
Yeah, it was so easy. I'm like, there's Leonardo. There's the other one, and it was pretty amazing. I mean, to be around
tight.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a designated survivor that keep one of those masters somewhere else so that if something happens, they still have the bones of, somebody.
True. I'm trying to think who they should have kept out. Probably Leonardo. He should be buried somewhere else, don't you think? In case something happened to that one.
Yeah. I forget. I went on I probably said this at the time, but well, it was actually pre-Turtle Time, but I went to where was I? I think it was in Rome. Angels and Demons tour. Did I tell you this?
Oh my! I mean, we've only talked about Dan Brown maybe 6 or 7 times, but I don't think I've ever heard about Angels and Demons tour. Wow! So like, there's where Tom Hanks.
It was really like a historical tour marketed as an Angels and Demons tour. Like they would like make reference to the Dan Brown stuff, but obviously everything in the book is like reference to a place that is real and has actual historical value. Yeah. And then he would like call out the bullshit from the story, like that never happened, or like that's not like that, or whatever. But it was very fun, and
it must have been easy for the tour guide to do that.
Yeah, he was like, you could tell he was like, that book's fucking stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, it's so easy for Dan Brown. Like, no offense, but I'm gonna get a little shitty about Dan Brown. But it's so easy to just like do something that no one has done. Like, if I just went, I don't know, some like castle in Scotland, and I just wrote this like dumb mystery about Scottish shit because I just went there and I had 2 hours of a lesson on it and blow Americans' minds. Be like, this guy knows everything about Scottish history. It's like, yeah, you did he went there 3 times.
He's like, there's a trap door and it's fucking tight.
Yeah, what was the new Dan Brown that's coming out? Because I'm hoping to get the Dan Brown sponsorship. It's like, called
You're No Angel, Sweetheart.
Oh my God, yeah, it was so cool. It's like the 4th one.
It was like the truth. Be truthin', the truth, the secrets.
I think it was Secret. Well, we'll look it up when that book comes out so we can.
The Secret of Secrets.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that means it's like you thought you even you thought you haven't even scratched the surface of what it's going to be. Some mythology that ties all of the books together, I'm sure. Oh my God, it freaked me out so much when that one guy who was chasing Robert Langdon around, he was unfortunately doing that thing where he was flogging himself, putting the spikes in his back. I was like, Jesus, oh God, this is too fucked up. But speaking of all that stuff, Paige and Craig
might be flogging himself after Paige's new Instagram.
Oh my God, yes. So remind me. So here's what happened in the last things. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Paige and Craig, they cannot even, they're so pissed at each other now. So first, Paige, in response to Craig probably going on Watch What Happens Live or doing whatever he did, Paige wore that shirt and did a sound bite. I forget what those are called on TikTok. And it was like, and her shirt said, let a woman do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah. I think she might have done that after Craig was on Tamron Hall.
Okay.
I think it was like in response to that, which he did like a full sit down for some reason. I don't think he has anything to promote or anything. I think he was like promoting his innocence.
Yeah, and Tamron Hall, I watched the clip. She goes, tell me about these horrible text messages that, no, yeah. It's in reference to Paige's clip coming out from the end of Summer House that says, Paige going, I caught you texting 2 women while we were in a relationship, so don't get me started on cheating. Yeah. Tamron goes, what do you think about this bombshell revelation that Paige said at the trailer for the upcoming season of Summer House? And Craig goes, I find it laughable. It makes me smile. I smile because when I get, what did he say? When I get defensive, I like to put on a huge smile. In no way, shape, or form did I ever send illicit messages back and forth with another woman, and it makes me laugh at the audacity of it. And then he said, I find it to be retaliatory behavior that she incriminated me in that way.
I'm just like, is he like running for Congress? Like, what is happening that they feel like they have to play this out in the public court? It's so stupid.
Yeah. Well, Sewing Down South obviously is such a huge staple of e-commerce. And I know that the Kroger's, I know Kroger's and stuff, like to be associated with a cheater, it's like after post-Scandival, Kroger's, I know one of the CEOs of Kroger's, it is so toxic right now to have Chad Kroger's. He's part of that family estate, but I know what it's like. You don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, you got pillows all across the country like that. He does have to maintain that brand reputation. And I think Paige, maybe he thinks Paige is playing fast and loose with she's more like on the Bravo scale of things. Like, I'm going to give something away. Like, I did see you send a weird DM one time. And then he's like, absolutely not. Like, if I run for, like you said, like Senate, or if Sewing Down South becomes publicly traded company, in no way, shape, or form did I ever let a text message fly like that. It's so hard. You don't know when you send, like, how on the scale of how flirty it possibly was. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I never imagined that he seemed so devoted to me. Like, he seemed so like whipped that I would be surprised. I mean, but he's also like friendly. So I could see him being like, I don't know, just like being nice or something. But
yeah. Yeah. Like, I was just thinking, if someone said like, I want to go to your pillow store, and he goes, my pillows are really nice, and then you saw that out of context, you'd be like, oh my God, he's talking about his pillows at his house. But then you could also see another world where he's probably just talking about the big fluffy pillows that they have at Sewing Down South. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Like, almost every man on Bravo, I can imagine getting, attention off of DMs and stuff, like, in an inappropriate way. I'm not saying he's incapable of that. I just, like, I'd be surprised if he was like stepping out.
Can I just say, be fully honest? Yeah. I know I just shocked you. I also didn't think, I'll just say it. I didn't think it sounded like Craig. I mean, I couldn't imagine that he was like sexting Molly or something during the Paige relationship. I thought maybe there was going to be some ambiguousness there that we'll unpack at some point. But all it is to me is that it's just getting a little rough for them. I wanted them to have a beautiful post-breakup relationship, and I guess that's just not in the cards for them. It's so sad. Could you imagine? I mean, this has happened to me countless times, and I'm sure to a lot of people, but to go from a loving relationship, wanting to be married, doing all that stuff for 3 years, and then within 4 months you're trading barbs, you're talking about infidelity, you're worried about what they're doing. They become like they're not an enemy, but it's like, it's just, they're no longer the love of your life anymore. It's really sad.
I know. I feel like it could have been okay. And I don't know. I think it's also just because they have rival shows that are going to cover the breakup, that it's actually impossible, because they Summer House released that clip well in advance to get us excited all the way through the finale. So that was salacious in nature. Southern Charm has already teased his like engagement conversations and like what's going to happen there. So it's almost like they didn't stand a chance because they have to get us fired up for their new seasons.
Yeah, true. I do think, for Craig, and I'm only speaking as a person, not a Bravo Liberty and how to handle it, but as a person, I do think it probably made Craig extremely bummed out to know that there was even a possibility that within 2 months, Paige was already starting a relationship that requires you to like be with them, be spotted multiple times in different cities. Like that probably did hurt, but I still think that he should have probably denied the cheating. And it seems like not denying the cheating allegations is really what stuck in Paige's craw. Mm-hmm. Craw?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get her wanting him to do that. I'm also like, maybe you guys just both not talk about it anymore.
But then but then you know what? You and I are like little vultures, picking apart this scrap. We need it.
Give me the tea.
I need it. Yeah, go on Tamron Hall and tell us more. Like, in this instance, I don't need it. You and I can talk about hundreds of other stuff. Lisa Rinna, have started that new talking about that new podcast. We didn't even mention Lisa Rinna has a podcast coming out. Let's not talk about the husband. Did we talk about that?
Yeah. I also saw a clip where someone had the gall to ask Harry Hamlin about when Bethany slandered his sauce. And he was like, he pulled a Ramona. He was like, not everyone has taste. There's no accounting for taste. He was like, you either like it or you don't, but you might have bad taste.
Remember when people were like, heat it up?
They were like, you're eating it cold, you bitch.
As if it couldn't possibly taste good cold.
I mean, they showed the clip when they asked him, and she literally almost like threw up when she ate it.
Of course. It's his homemade sauce. It probably tastes like shit.
How bad could a tomato sauce be?
Oh my, it could taste so bad. Oh my God, have you ever gotten, no offense, because I want the ragu sponsor and I'll take this back immediately, but have you ever had just like ragu? Oh my God, it is, sorry, ragu heads, but it's awful. Yeah, it tastes like pure shit.
We've all decided as a society that if you can afford it, we're paying the $9 for the RHOBH.
Oh
RHOBH?
RHOBH. I think it's RHOBH. Yeah. Oh, we get RHOBH every time. I don't even know if they let you sell ragu anymore.
I bought one at Target the other day called like Sauz. Like it was like,
oh, that's cute.
SAUZ or something. Like it was like Sauz.
That's really cute.
And it had like a hip label. Like it was like cute.
And that gets
me
every time.
$10, but you know what? It was good.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, can I shout out a red sauce? Trader Joe's. I get every new product that Trader Joe's introduces. I like every single product. Spicy chicken nuggets, I get it. And then they just had this new sauce called Spicy, Bold, and Red. And I go, Megan, drive me to Trader Joe's.
Tuck and roll.
I go, drive me to Trader Joe's. I got to get this bold, spicy, and red sauce. And it was so good. Oh my God. Don't get me started.
Okay. Good to know. I mean, yeah. I'll just say at the top of my head, the bagged penne arrabbiata, #1, obsessed. The garlic naan from Trader Joe's, bomb as hell. The gigante beans, canned, and the dolma in a can. Those are like my emergency snack staples.
Oh, I might have to take a little peek into gigante beans and dolme because I've never had that before. I love 99% of the products Trader Joe's makes, and if they don't make a good thing, it's out of there in 2 months.
Yeah. So I need to go shopping so bad. I haven't gone grocery shopping in 2025. It's just like cobbling together nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been absolute chaos and shit for us too. I mean look at me, look at where I'm at. I'm in Florida on a trip. Yeah, I'm just like we are running on complete fumes over here. You have no idea. Traveling with I don't mean no. You have no idea. I meant that as just a expression.
How dare you?
I just
talk about my childless life like that.
I just meant it's another level. 5 months, ripping around the Florida, driving 3 hours around. But anyway, not to get people a peek into that.
You reminded me by offending me as a childless woman. Did you see what Cy said about Cy was on Jeff Lewis again, and Jeff asked a good question that I had the same question. At the end of the reunion when Brynn is trying to get back in Cy's good graces, and she goes, "I miss your kids." Jeff goes, "Does she even fucking know your kids?" And Cy goes, "Honestly, not at all. My son doesn't even know her goddamn name."
I think she said she's met them twice, and probably once was filming, and then once was like a random time or whatever. Oh, I was so glad that Cy spilled the gigante beans on that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she doesn't give a shit. Like and then some of the comments were like, yeah, you just like say that to people to be nice. Like, oh, like, how are your kids? I miss your kids. But it also felt like she was like overstepping to like present that they were closer than they really were.
I thought the exact same way, completely. Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, news, I mean, you and I hit it out of the park. Yeah. Right? I mean,
I think so. Oh, did you see that I don't know why I feel like this is relevant that Jack Nicholson was at the SNL 50.
No.
He introduced Adam Sandler.
Oh my God. I didn't want to watch SNL 50 at all. I saw no clip that was compelling to me in any way. Yeah. I have to see that. Oh my God. I haven't heard him talk in 10 years.
He was wearing a Yankees beret and like his little purple glasses.
It wouldn't be too hard for you to pull up that little snippet, would it? Just so I could hear Jack Nicholson talk. Is that accessible to you? Maybe
not in this moment, but I'll show you later.
Did he just say, "And here's Adam Sandler"?
Here's Sandman. You could tell his daughter was sitting next to him. I know that's his daughter because she interned at the Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien, same time as me.
Whoa.
Lorraine Nicholson. She had to sort of tap him, like, time to talk.
Really?
And he was like, Adam Sandler.
Did he go up on the stage?
No, he did it from his seat. So
Adam
we don't have
Sandler.
That great of a point of reference for how he's doing, but he can say a sentence.
Adam Sandler. That's amazing. Oh, I just picture him sitting courtside at the Lakers when he used to do that. Did you remember when he brought a bunch of, can you hear me? Do you remember when he brought a bunch of spaghetti to the Lakers game and he spilled it all over the floor? All right. No. All right, let's do Beverly Hills first, right? And then Southern Charm, because I feel like Beverly Hills is just about, well, they're both just about one thing. They're both like kind of like low key one thing episodes, however you describe that. They're easy to talk about. But Beverly Hills, I think, provided less enjoyment for me than it will be to discuss Southern Charm, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I liked Beverly Hills just for the lore.
Me too.
I thought it was like, watching it, I was thinking this is giving credence to the argument that Housewives has some substance and covers some dark shit that other shows don't.
True. Yes, true. I liked it for that as well. I wasn't trying to undercut the emotional impact. I was thinking for my mental state, starting easy, even though it's probably it's harder to talk about. But I agree with you completely. It showed a full new facet of what the franchises can bring, and I felt like this is like, I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I felt like it felt like kind of like a Faulkner novel. Going down to Augusta, those scrambled egg and mayonnaise sandwiches, and about like post World War II stuff. I don't know if that's just what
that's
it was kind of like
literary.
Yeah, it reminded me of Absalom, or quite possibly As I Lay Dying. I'm just kidding. I'm just naming a bunch of random Faulkner novels, but I was thinking, they were about like shit like that. So anyway, but how do you feel about dipping into it?
Yeah, let's do it. It's called Mind Your Business, to quote Reba.
Right, and everyone, you instantly know what that means. It's built off that one moment, which, in my opinion, I won't step on it, but Reba is talking to Kyle. Kyle, speaking of Faulkner-esque, Kyle goes on a run, and she goes, I was trying to get to Henry Street, and then all of a sudden I was in the middle of a cemetery. And Reba goes, oh my God, you would have been lost forever. That's one of the cemeteries where people barely ever make it out from.
She's like a cat on a hot tin roof, your little pepper steppers were lost.
It's so true. Reba is taking us to this new world. She goes, I went into this graveyard. Kyle is not used to this stuff. It's Georgia graveyards, Augusta. She goes, I'm going to kill your daughter. And Reba goes, my. You don't go running after 6 a.m. When I used to run at 5:36 a.m. My God.
And Kyle is like actively scared of this woman. Like you can tell she's like, get me the hell out of here. Like
it was so nice of Kyle to go on this trip and get a peek into Sutton's world. Like it was so nice of her. It really added so much gravitas to these scenes to have Kyle as the audience surrogate. If I think it was just Garcelle and Sutton, it would have had a little less impact. That Kyle really makes it like a bona fide trip over there, seeing things through Kyle's eyes.
Yeah, and Kyle is like, Reba, what's your sign? And she's like, I'm a Cancer, but I'm not a typical Cancer. I'm not a nurturer. And Kyle's like, oh, really? Like, we will be talking about that later.
Yeah. So she kind of defies the conventions of a Cancer. I defy a lot of the conventions of a Sagittarius.
I think that too for my Capricorn, in that I don't like working.
Yeah. Do you think it's just because signs are not real?
Yeah, it gets so complicated with like all of the rising and the other shit that I guess your regular one really doesn't mean as much as the other ones.
I took so much pride in being a Sagittarius.
Sag.
Total Sag. I can't believe we're different signs. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, we couldn't be more different. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, I'm surprised that, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but like I would assume that the signs that are close together are more similar, but does it just change immediately on that day? I like to think about them, but I don't know. How is it possible? You and I are 4 days apart. We have a completely different personality in every way. You and I are so similar. Like people will be like, ooh, a January Capricorn versus like a December Capricorn. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
I know. Yeah. I just think about that. What's my guy is, I think, a Archer.
That's cool.
And I just like, I identify with that, just like I love thinking about that person.
Mine's a goat. Oh, I'm goated.
That is so awesome. Avi is upsetting me.
Oh my God. She hates his ass.
Yeah, but he's playing it up a little bit. I feel like he likes being a little stinker, kind of. He likes putting mallets in the wrong ice bins. He loves rolling his eyes at Reba. I'm like, you're being offensive to Reba. He goes, darling. Oh no, that's her. He goes, I think it's about time for brunch. And she goes, I thought it was going to be breakfast. And he goes, no, it's 11 o'clock. And she goes, oh, I guess, well, that is about the time when brunch would start. And he goes, so are you going to go change your clothes upstairs? Right?
Yeah. And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, well, you look like a hag. You should change.
He goes, I thought you were going to floof up a little bit. We're having a nice, proper brunch. I just don't like that he's kind of coming in and ruling the roost and bossing her around. And then I'll just step on it because I don't think we're going to talk about it. I didn't like when he was doing it in the kitchen, and I think he was putting his fingers in all the crab cakes or something. And Sutton busts him, and she goes, Avi. She goes, what are you doing, my darling? And he gave a defiant look. He rolled his eyes, and he ate a big pickled onion in front of them. Do you remember that part?
She was like, what are you doing? And he was like, chomp chomp.
And I think he's getting a little too into it. I didn't like when he was peeking his little head from the closet too, trying to spy on them. I feel like he's making too much of it. I'm not so thrilled anymore.
He wants a diamond.
I think he wants a diamond so bad. He should be in the intro though with Sutton. When Sutton comes out, it should be Avi. It should be Avi eating a little pickled onion in the background.
He should dance like Candy's daughter Riley, doing like the Running Man.
I don't look at those anymore.
Oh,
I never think
they're not
about
as
them.
fun anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, I remember Joe Gorgas was so funny. I forget what he was doing. He kind of just does a really cool dance in the background and Melissa to get some attention.
I think Shannon still had like Archie. Like there's some fun things in the back sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
But...
Oh. Okay, I don't want to segue, but oh shit. We need to talk about the wonderful Love Hotel. We'll talk about it at the end.
Okay.
All right, so Avi, he was pissing me off a little bit. And then Kyle and Sutton have a little bit of a talk.
Yeah. It's like dark shit. She talks about, Sutton says, because Kyle's like, your mom said she's not a nurturer. And Sutton's like, holy shit, she said that. It sounds like anytime her mom says literally anything revealing at all, she's so surprised because she's such a tight-lipped person usually. But she gives some background on her dad and how he struggled for a long time. They had to put him in the hospital multiple times. And apparently he never went to suicide. He never went to therapy,
right.
But he would often talk about suicide. Sorry, dark stuff.
Yeah.
And that he ultimately shot himself in December 2002. And Kyle's like, I know it's complicated, but you're lucky to have your mom. And Sutton's like, ugh. Like, she's like, not really.
Yeah. So was her dad? He was extremely depressed and not feeling well, and probably physically also not feeling well. It sounds like he was sort of like he was in his, or I don't know how the proper way to say it. Like he wasn't like, he was kind of just in his bed, and they would have to like come greet him and stuff. Like he was really not doing well.
Yeah.
At this point in his life,
he was on like a cocktail of meds that, it sounds like in Sutton's opinion weren't necessarily like the right cocktail, and that he was like really out of it and like disoriented and just like not thriving at all. So it sounded like he didn't have the best care. Like, and I mean, he also wouldn't go to therapy, which is sad. Like, it was a different time, a different generation. So it's a super bummer. And it's revealed that her mom is a therapist, which isn't Candace on Potomac? Her mom was a therapist too, and she was like an ice cold bitch.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wow.
I feel like sometimes it's like if they talk about that shit all day and they intellectualize it, maybe they like are like, I can't give that to you at home.
Yeah, like they don't want to give their feelings so willingly. I know people like Reba. I'm not so no, not closely. No one in my family, but I'm not so. I guess if I was her son or daughter, I guess you want more, but I'm not so. I'm not so taken aback by Reba just being like, I don't want lemonade. What else you got? like you know what I mean? Like she's just terse, and she's still funny, and she doesn't say. It's a completely different experience for Sutton, but at a certain point, I was like, does the show? I know it's real, obviously, and there's so much stuff going on, but I was wondering if Reba is just a little more withdrawn because like she doesn't want to have moments like this, like potentially on camera, or I don't know, or she was kind of pushing back against Sutton needing so much. But anyway, that's just something that I'll reiterate throughout as we go through. It did feel
like Sutton was so like. I think she's so like sensitive to her mom's way of being that she would preemptively get outraged or like weirded out by literally every single thing she said. Like she'd be like, I forget when they're in the kitchen, like
spoons. It was a spoon. She goes, "Are we going to be using spoons? Is there caviar that's going to be available?" And Sutton goes, "Oh God, geez." She complains even about the spoons. That was to the audience. And it's like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And when we get to I want to talk about when we get to the outfits too, because I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Okay. Okay, then this is where Garcelle's like, I'm going to make good on my thing where I'm going to have a conversation with Reba. And so they sit down. It doesn't last very long. Garcelle basically says, Sutton just wants to know that her mom loves her and is proud and stuff like that. And this is where Reba goes, that is none of your business. You don't have a clue.
Yeah. Yeah, and Garcelle goes very, sympathetic or, whatever, being understanding that comment and saying, I don't know what it's like to live with you. I mean, and it's like, it's true. And Kyle even said this. She's like, Garcelle, I don't think that's going to go over well. I know you want to have, you are speaking up for Sutton, and it's important, and Sutton can't get the point across. And so it's good to hear it maybe from a third party that's not so connected to the issue, but I completely understand Reba's response. You don't know, Garcelle, what it was like being there in 2002, going through all this shit, what Sutton and has probably done in the relationship, the push and pull that there's been for years. So I understand. If Reba was going to get offended about anything, it was going to be that. But she honestly was not that pissed. She kind of, she's still terse or whatever, but she goes, I forget, she goes, are you just giving me a message? At that point, Garcelle goes, maybe I am giving you a message from your daughter.
Yeah, totally. And then I forget how it comes. Oh, she goes, I think Garcelle said something like, I lost my mom, so I just want you guys to have a great relationship or whatever. And she's like, death is final, isn't it?
Just one of those sort of, I'll just like Southern or not witticisms, but just one of those kind of sayings. Death is so final. Okay, and then breakfast time, right?
Yeah.
Brunch?
Yes, which, I mean, it just looked like a normal meal. I don't think anyone needed to change for this. And Sutton says that she wants them to go visit her childhood home, which was, she says, was built in, did she say 1937 or 1837?
I have to say 1837.
Okay.
I have to say it.
And Reba's like, oh, horrors, I'm not going inside.
Yeah, and I understand that. I'm that way. When someone says, let's go to my childhood home, like let's go in a home that other people live in, I'm kind of like, oh, horrors, no. It's not the same anymore. It's not your home, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm fully, maybe I just relate to Reba. She was just like, I don't want to, well, it's probably half and half. Like, I don't want to bother people and put them out, but also, like, why would I dredge up horrible memories? It would hurt me so much to go to that house. Yeah. So that's why she says, oh, horrors, no.
Yeah, and then this is where Sutton reveals that her mom was home during the suicide, and that she, if she's honest, has resentments because her mom knew what was going on with like the pills and his state of mind and everything, and it sounds like she doesn't think she did enough to intervene. Right. Also earlier, Garcelle said that she thinks that Reba had jealousy towards Sutton and her dad's close relationship.
Whoa, yeah. Okay, so that's deep stuff there. That's huge. Do we have to talk about what Erica's doing?
No, her cabana's getting a facelift.
I cannot wait for that cabana to be fully renovated. It's going to look amazing once Martin Bullard Lawrence gets his hands on it. And I did like kind of Erica reminding us when she was just like, everybody hated me. You all hated me. The Beverly Hills audience didn't want me to have $1 to my name. They wanted me out on my ass after all of this shit with Tom Girardi. And she goes, and look at me now. I'm buying a Porsche. I'm facelifting my cabana. And it's true. I forgive, we've talked about it. I forgive Erica. I'm sorry, whatever the hell was happening with Tom Girardi.
Sorry to the orphans and the widows. She's
I don't know.
On top of the world.
She is killing it. I loved Erica betting on Blonde. And she's right. She was down and out. We had Erica. We were like, is she going to get fired? She should be in, I don't know if.
Or what?
Yeah, and now she's like, look at me now. I'm getting a Porsche with a bow tie on it. So that was kind of just, kind of fun to just, it's really, for me, it always highlights the thing we talk about. There is so much room for redemption on Bravo, and the minute you think you're out for the count, you don't know what the next season is going to be like. Look at Tom Sandoval on Traitors. He is blowing people's minds. They go, I love that Tommy guy.
Oh yeah, I just saw someone posted that their friend had him perform at their wedding, like with his band, and I was like, fuck, that's so funny.
Yeah. Did they say it was good?
I mean, he was doing all the same ass songs as always.
Oh, what are? Oh yeah, of course. I remember
like
those.
Incubus, Toto.
Oh my God! Remember before we knew how horrible he was, how fun those shows were.
Yeah, that was fun. And then, but yeah, I agree with the Erica stuff. She was like, I used to sleep till noon, but now I'm doing better. Like, I like when someone faces potential ruin and can cobble together, like, climb out of it through sheer hustle.
Yeah, I like forgiveness too. I'm
nice.
a forgiveness guy. Okay, Bose and her daughter have a wonderful conversation. You know, this is mainly about Augusta, but they let us give little blips of what's going on. Not nearly as much where Erica and everybody carried the episode last week, where it was divided. Now this is mainly an Augusta episode, but we get a little peek into Bose. And Bose and her daughter are talking about what it's going to be like post her daughter leaving the house, possibly getting married, possibly having another child. And her daughter is very sweet about it, very mature, and says, I want you to have that experience. You know, our relationship is going to change. It's very like, you know, very mature thinking in my opinion. Yeah. And she goes, I want you to have that experience because your and I's relationship is going to change. And Bose loves it. She's like so proud of her daughter.
Yeah, her daughter's like adorable. I loved her. I was like, she could be like a goat housewife daughter. She was so like, I don't know, well spoken and just like sweet.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, now Sutton, we're on the drive. They're driving to Sutton's home. Sutton starts to unfortunately well, not unfortunately, but she has she's so upset that they're going to be doing this. She's like kind of panicking and everything. And then they get to the house and, you know, this has all been cleared beforehand. They weren't just going to like surprise them with a bunch of cameras and stuff.
No, they were giving Watch What Happens Live callers. They were like, I think they were Bravo super fans.
They know that they live in that house, I think.
You could see the look on their face when they saw like Kyle and Garcelle. They lit up. Like I was like, these chicks go to BravoCon.
Do you ever wish that the Watch What Happens Live callers wouldn't say hi to everyone and make Andy so mad every single time they call in?
What's your question? What's your question?
Why don't this is a huge... I'm going to get pissed. Watch What Happens Live producers. Tell the callers you can't say hi to Andy. Go to your question. Say, Craig, I have a question. Maddie, I have a question.
Andy, love you. Loved your book. Hi, Craig. You look amazing tonight. Oh, hi, Sonia, Rita. Love you.
And do you remember me? I called 3 years ago. Andy, I was the one who had the dog that was looking at the camera and started licking the lens for a second. He goes, what's your question? It's like, it would be so easy. I know they want to keep it fun, but Andy gets pissed every episode.
It's like 4 times a night. And then they're like drinking their drink and like cheersing and like, I have a shot ski. Like they just want their time in the sun.
I guess I'm going to say this to Watch What Happens Live callers. You know Andy hates it. You watch this show every night. Just ask your question.
What if we always say that we should call in? We should be like, hi, Paige, love your outfit.
Andy, you look amazing. Was it true that Lindsay threw a shoe at you when she came on? And Andy's like, stop, please stop. Yeah, no, let's know if we do it. Let's be the most efficient question askers, and let's do a question that Andy goes, oh, that's a great question. That's the highest compliment.
Totally, I love that.
All right, they get in, and this is the kind of stuff, though. I want to just say, overall, it like when people tour their childhood homes, like in my opinion, I believe that homes don't have any memories. They don't absorb anything. They don't mean anything once you're gone. Home is where your heart is. And I just think it's not. I don't know why. Oh well. Whatever. Maybe I'll want to do this when I'm more nostalgic. But when Sutton's like walking through, she's like, the bed used to be over here. That couch is not where this couch used to be. It's like, yeah.
Did you move a lot?
Yes.
That makes sense. Never, my parents live, me and my sister never lived anywhere else.
Okay.
And I've only lived in like 3 places my entire life.
Okay.
So I would be like, it's still there. It looks the same, or it doesn't. Like my, did I tell you one time my grandma's house was on a makeover show, like after she died and they sold it, it was on like an HGTV show.
Wow.
And a lot of members of my family refused to watch it because they couldn't stand to watch it, like get a wall taken down or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Once you leave, it is not yours, literally and metaphorically. And it's going to make you bummed out to see that they didn't want the same toilet that you used. They don't like the flooring that you had. They don't like the bed in the same position. So that was when she was going through. I know I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not as impactful to me to be like, oh my God, like they changed that rug in there. It's like, well, yeah, they didn't want that anymore.
I did want to say that I found her childhood home to be much more modest than I expected. Am I mistaken? I thought that she both grew up rich and had a rich husband, but maybe it sounds like just the husband was rich. Like maybe I'm conflating her with Shannon Bedore, who I think grew up super rich. And then,
Reba said, one of their arguments was Reba said, well, what the hell are we going to do about money if they broke up? Like she was very worried about the financial security. So I guess they don't have a fortune,
she
rely
lives
on.
in that back house. So
Yeah.
sounds like, because her new house is like way nicer than her childhood home, or like fancier.
And we say Sutton's ex-husband works for Black Cube.
Some evil enterprise. He's like ungodly rich, and Reba loves it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, then this is when Sutton says, this is when I liked this. She goes, I used to eat, she goes, my dad used to make me scrambled egg sandwiches with mayonnaise and bread, a wonderful bread. And she goes, it doesn't sound good, but I used to eat that every day. And I was just like, it does sound good.
Yeah. I might get judged harshly on the internet for this, but I really
we don't talk about that anymore.
I got an egg salad sandwich at 7-Eleven, and I love it.
Don't they have those new I forget what they're called. Don't they have those new Conby type sandwiches?
I don't know if this is part of that. It's just like the normal like refrigerated sandwich, but yeah, it's like akin to, it's like on that fluffy white bread.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like $5, and I was like, this really hit the spot.
They've stepped it up at 7-Eleven. Wawa came through and everybody's like, oh, Wawa's food is so good. So 7-Eleven's like, well, we'll make egg sandwiches and a bunch of but I swear, I think 7-Eleven also has, people know these sandwiches that I'm talking about. They're like these beautiful egg sandwiches with these cut things. I saw that and I was like, I'll go to 7-Eleven for a minute.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I've never seen them. But if I ever do, I'll totally buy them.
Echo Park used to have a place that had these Japanese style egg sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I know it. I was like, I got them like...
Short-lived.
So short-lived. And then Sutton says, this is when she gets very emotional. She tells Kyle and Garcelle, she goes, the last time I saw my dad, I was doing something, and we'd had moments where I would visit with him, but the last time, I think she was doing something for ballerina stuff, dancing possibly, right?
She was like, gotta go to my recital, bye, and he
didn't give her a hug.
Speaking,
Yeah, he didn't give her a hug like normal, and so she just touched his toe, and then that's when the saddest thing in the world comes, the regret. It's like, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have treated that moment. That's what everybody says, like it's just so sad. And then everybody, hugs her and everything. So she did have a cathartic moment with her friends. And I'm sure, imagine the empathy that Sutton and Kyle, I hope, have for each other after Kyle has gotten a peek into Sutton and seen her like this. And I hope Sutton feels that same way, because we were talking about how Sutton's been treating Kyle like absolute shit. I hope that Sutton now sees by the end of this episode that Kyle was really there for her and was like one of the only people, that went with her on this journey to get to the root of Sutton and met her mom and all this stuff. I hope this is a huge leap in their friendship.
Yeah. It sounds like in the future episodes, Sutton's going to have beef with a lot more people. So we'll see if this group stays strong, but we'll see. I hope.
Yep.
Then we check in with Bose, Erica, and Dorit go to lunch or whatever. And this is where Bose says that she wants to have a baby with her man, but they haven't even said I love you yet. And the other women are like, what the hell?
I bet they said I love you on Valentine's Day if they're still dating.
Yeah, like this past weekend.
Yeah, I think we should check in, but I'm sure one of them said it. Both should say it.
Yeah. Well,
if she feels
they
it.
seem to think that he should say it first.
Oh, yeah.
But she is like near 50 years old. So.
Yeah. I forget when I said I love you first, but who does it? But then this was kind of, what did you think about this Dorit stuff? I kind of felt like they were all confused, and Dorit was trying to go one way with the conversation, and Bose and Erica were still starting to, on the same track that they were on last week's episode. Like Dorit was like, you'll never believe you'll never believe
I can't
the conversation.
Yeah.
I was doing Reba again. She
yeah, like it sounds like the women at the limoncello dinner or whatever, they're like, all right, there's no looking back. PK is dead to us all. You need to hire a lawyer and like take him down hardcore. Like it's over, it's done.
Yeah,
that's my advice. And then she came to lunch this week and was like, oh, actually, we talked and it went really well. And they're like, no. Like, that's bullshit. No.
Yeah, and she goes, well, and we decided even if there's like war between us, we care about the children. And Bose goes, it's not about the children anymore. It's like, it's like I think, and then they go, and then I think they start to say, he's tricking you. He's now giving you a little bit of a olive branch or whatever, so that you won't go so hard on him if the divorce papers come. And I don't think Dorit thought that was a possibility, but then she gets led that way into thinking it and lets the scene sort of shift to be like, okay, I'll just go ahead with this, that PK is still this like ruthless person, that it's only doing this because he's pretending with me so the divorce might be easier.
Right. Yeah. Erica's like, PK is ruthless in business, which means he'll be ruthless in his divorce.
How much accuracy, like what are you giving the Dorit the grain of salt? How are you fully like, Dorit has given us the play-by-play updates. He was
yeah.
He was having the worst time. He was sending her 7-page email saying, I don't want you to have any money, or whatever he was saying. You need to take over the mortgage. And then now he's calling. It's like, why did we lose PK as a person when we were getting little tidbits from him and hearing his point of view? Then why did he just all of a sudden quit filming? It's kind of like, I don't. Right. I would have expected them to still have scenes together. It's not that horrible between them, I didn't think.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that he is chaotic in nature. Like, someone posted a clip, remember? I forgot that he had beef with Erica, like, immediately because he, like, looked up her skirt or whatever.
That was
And then
awful.
He was like, you're a whore. What did he say?
He
was like, that's a skank-ass outfit to wear. I can't be blamed.
Probably one of the, like, my least favorite, like, 3-episode arcs in Beverly Hills history. It was so drawn out and annoying. I hated Dorit and PK for doing that. They were, like, so annoying about it. Erica hated them bringing that up every time. It lasted for way too long, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, I did not like that. I don't really like PK very much.
No, I don't trust him, and I don't know. I believe her that he's being difficult, and I think she should just like protect herself or whatever. But I also feel like she is using all versions of this as like her storyline, so I'm a little bit like, where is this going? Like, what do you like want from us?
The arc of her storyline is being shaped by whoever is around her and letting her like she's not shaping the own narrative of her post PK relationship. She's like letting them go, oh, is that what you think he's thinking? Oh, is that what he's doing? Oh, then I'll ignore, you know what I mean? Like, she's kind of, like you, exactly what you just said. Like, she's letting any piece of this give her entertainment value no matter where it leads, instead of kind of like taking the authority of what is actually going on in their relationship.
She's like dropping crumbs for us to follow. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I guess we'll just see. But they're all like, Bose is like, wake up, he's playing games with you. And she's like, oh, really?
Yeah, Erica said Erica said PK is so ruthless in business. And I was like, whoa, is he?
She's probably been waiting for him to go down ever since that first time when he looked up her skirt.
Totally. Okay, Sutton is making crab cakes. I don't know how much of this, we have to get into, but I did love, there was a great reveal when Reba goes, what's her dog's name?
Oh yeah.
She goes,
Dixie.
She goes, Dixie, darling. She goes, Mama will be right back, darling. And then they cut to this dog, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I love when you see a dog like that. Huge dog, well behaved, sitting there waiting for when Reba will return. That was one of the best dog reveals I've seen, because that's like one of the least dogs I expect when I see that. So that was perfect. And then this is when Sutton, now I'll poke a little bit into this, but Sutton goes, she's making the crab cakes. This is when she's commenting on the spoons and the crab cakes. And she goes, let's go in here while the crab cakes are simmering. And then that's when Sutton has a bunch of her clothes from Sutton Limited out on the thing, and she goes, here's my upcoming fall capsule collection. And Reba goes, what the fuck is a capsule collection? She goes, it's all sustainable goods, this is made from kelp, and this is made from a bunch of stuff. And then Reba's kind of like, I'm just wondering how enthused Reba is supposed to be.
Well, I think I'm kind of like deluded because my mom is so my mom's obsessed with me. So she'd be like, she wouldn't even be like, she'd be like begging me for like the sketches and like the fabric samples. Like she'd be like, what is going on here? Like, I need to see it. Like she'd be like, oh my God, like I love this. And Reba was like, I could take it or leave it. It's like chopped liver.
She goes, is this real? And Sutton goes, yeah, it's 100% real leather. I'm just like, your mom doesn't I'm gonna
give a shit about anything you do.
No, not that. Just she's not that excited about stuff. This doesn't mean a lot to her. And especially this capsule collection, which she's not interested in fashion. Okay, but you're right. I can see. I'm going to be thoughtful on the other side. I'm going to say I can imagine a world. I have a caring family that go, oh my God, Riley, what'd you do? And they're like, oh God, yeah, let me listen to that episode of Turtle Time. I go, don't.
Please don't. I mean, I could have done with some active criticisms, like for the price point, it's kind of weird that it has a patch on it that says name 'em.
Yes. I think the name threw me off. I'm gonna get pissed again. I don't think that every Bravo celebrity, there's a certain catchphrases that make it to that top tier. There's maybe been 5 of them in history. I loved Name 'em, but I don't think Sutton needs to make Name 'em merch. I saw Madison had, no offense to Madison, I love Madison, but she had that
board housewife or whatever.
It's like, yeah. That wasn't that iconic, and it was someone saying it to you.
Right. Well, if you want to have like shitty name 'em t-shirts and whatever, then do that. But on like a trench coat that I have to imagine, like her boutique on Robertson or wherever it is, like it's very expensive. Like it's a luxury boutique where she sells like designer goods that are like a lot. And once she said sustainable, I was like, that shit is always so expensive when it's like sustainably made. So I was like, if that trench coat is like $500 or whatever or more, I don't want like a goofy like Bravo slogan on it.
Yes, that for sure. And then also, not every 2 words that comes out makes any sense with no context. Name 'em makes no sense. Name 'em? What does it mean?
Name 'em.
Name 'em.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the memes of the year, I would say.
It was, but it doesn't make any sense on a shirt. It's not a catchphrase.
I'm buying you the trench.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, and then Reba goes. She goes, and also, just so you know, it's incredibly hard to go from London to get stuff to Houston, and there's a lot of stuff in the shipping containers that happens, and I was just like, I'm not 100% sure how interesting that is to Reba. If you're already losing her with the Name 'em jumpsuit. And then Reba goes, well, that's kind of like made in USA beef. They say it's made in USA, but it's actually made in Cuba.
She was like, it's actually not like beef, so how fucking dare you? But anyways, she was like, well, I just meant in the sense of imports.
You know what? Some stuff is just not for your parents.
Yeah, I mean, I get. So I say this as someone that likes to take Sutton down a peg. Like, she's so takes her store so seriously. And then remember when Dorit was held at gunpoint and she was like, well, my designer is stuck in customs. It's horrible. Like, my business is my number one interest or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you're like so wealthy from your divorce that like, yeah, you can run a little fucking boutique. Like, I could do that too. Like, it would be a lot of work that you don't have to do because you don't need money, but it's still like, it's not like livelihood. It's not like, you know, like you're just doing it for like a passion project, which is fine. I respect that. That's actually my dream. It was like, did you watch that show, The Affair?
The first 3 seasons for sure. Megan loves that show.
Yeah. I always remember that Maura Tierney's character, her dad was supposed to be like, who's like the biggest airport author you can think of, like John Grisham or something.
Absolutely. I'm thinking of all those names, but yeah, John Grisham.
Like, she's the daughter of John Grisham, and so she just has like unlimited money, and she has a boutique in New York, and it doesn't make any money, and it doesn't matter until like shit goes down later. But
who's the lead on that show? Dominic
West.
Yeah, he apparently is a complete tyrant on set.
Oh no. He also, remember, cheated on his wife, and they posed outside the castle and put up a sign that says our marriage is better than ever and kissed in front of it and let the paparazzi come.
Really? Our marriage is better than ever, even though after the cheating happened? Dominic West is his name? Yeah, the other lead, I think, had to leave the show because he was just such a nightmare to work with.
What's her name? Ruth?
I forget.
Something?
Yeah, she was on that show on HBO about the little animals, that fantasy show. Do you know what I'm talking about? I watched a couple of those.
Was that Duplass?
No. Duplass made... We don't have to go through it.
Anywho,
okay.
Well, anyways, I think that's the ultimate luxury, is to be independently wealthy and get to have a boutique just as an expression of your taste. Like,
and I want it so bad.
So great.
I want it so bad. Oh my God. I think about it all the time. If I just had millions, 50 million, I was fine. My family was fine. I was able to do nice things like go out to dinner, buy a house, and then I just did whatever I was passionate about. I mean, like, holy shit.
Yeah. Do you remember I'm just naming shows and movies now where they have fun boutiques, but in I Love You Man, Rashida Jones, they have her own that cute little store, Yoke, in Silver Lake.
Oh, yeah.
That sells like cute stuffed animals and like Scandinavian plates and shit.
Oh, yeah. I love little boutiques like that.
Take my money, little shoppies. I'll buy $13 socks, a $60 candle, jelly cat, stuffed animal.
Yeah, this is getting a little local, but remember Prelude and Dawn, that boutique?
Is it not there anymore?
It's closing.
Really?
They couldn't afford it anymore.
Damn, nobody bought those socks.
Oh, we were there. I was Megan and I were feeding. Well, not feeding them, but like we would go there once every 3 weeks and buy stuff. I thought it was doing so well, but boutiques, I guess they're in that strip. York.
Yeah.
All right. Boutiques are amazing. Okay.
Sutton, stay strong, even though your mom thinks you're a joke.
I just think that the mom should have said, "I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you." I don't know anything about this, but I'm so proud. But her mom, I guess, didn't give her even 1 or 2 of those. Sutton really needs to hear it, which I understand that.
Yeah, she's like, I just want you to think that you're proud. And she goes, why wouldn't you think that I'm proud? And she's like, because you never say it. And she goes, I don't need to. And she's like, well, maybe I need you to. And she goes, okay, I'm proud of you, which is the most like avoidant behavior I've ever seen. She's like, I love you is trite and overused. And I'm like, she brought in the thing that avoidant boomers love to do that are like, in my day, babies just cried and cried in their cribs and no one gave a fuck. And it's like, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
We know that was bad.
Yeah, it was awful. A baby cries because they need something.
Why are you even bringing that up? Like, sorry that it sucked for you and your generation was like tortured.
Yeah, no.
Why do you want
push
that forward?
She goes, you have to remember, I came from World War II post.
I love that.
Yeah, the best thing I ever learned when we were given our baby, they were like, they cry because they need something. Diaper change, they're hungry, they're really tired, or they're teething. Like, it's not, they don't just cry for no reason. They're either uncomfortable, something is wrong. So I cannot stand behind what Reba said about leaving a little crying baby in a crib because it's World War II. You're in the after effects of World War II.
Yeah, she's like, nobody ever told me I was pretty. And I was like, okay, that's not what we're talking about, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry, Reba. Do you think, when does Reba ever let those three, the most beautiful words you can ever hear in the English language, when do you think she gets those out? Because she goes, it's trite and inconsequential. People overuse it. Do you think she ever lets one rip?
It would be too much. Like, even when she talks about her grandkids, she's like, they're weird.
She says, don't make me, that's going to come up, but she goes, don't make me sleep in Philip's room. Does he still have that fish?
She's like, Jesus Christ, that freak of yours.
Was Philip the one that she said was weird? I thought it was another boy that she said was weird.
I don't remember. But
she thinks both are weird.
Yeah, and I'm like, that sucks too, to have a mean grandma. Like, talk about someone who loved me, my grandma.
Yeah, I can take it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being like not myself, and I'm like speaking to a segment of the audience that experiences that, but it's probably horrible for everyone. Everyone wants to hear I love you, I'm proud of you. Yeah. I regret that. I miss you. I love you. Like, they shouldn't be thought of as trite. They should be like, part of the common vernacular between family.
I wonder how she is as a therapist, like tough love therapist.
Yeah, and I'm lying too, because I said my love language was affirmations, and that's probably Sutton's love language too, from her mom. Like, I just want to hear I love you and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I feel like one of your top praises is that you're proud.
I say it all the time. I tell Penny every single 5 minutes that I'm proud of her. I want her to always know how proud I am. Well, because I'm proud because it's so hard just getting through life.
I agree.
The fact that we're doing it every 3 hours, you should say, oh my God, you made it through that. Like, I'm so proud of you. And then I think Reba gets somewhere. You're right that she goes like, I'm proud of you. Like, why do you need that? Like, why the hell? But then she goes, I will understand that. I forget the exact words, but she goes, I understand that you need that, and we can do better, you and I. And Sutton loves it. She runs with it. She goes, that is so sweet. I've never heard her say we. So she goes up, she goes, I'm going to give you a hug even if you don't like it. And Reba goes, oh God. She goes, do I have to stand? And then she doesn't stand, but then Sutton's hair gets in her face, and she immediately undercuts. She doesn't like being emotional, and quite possibly on camera as well. Maybe she thinks it's weak or something. But they get to a great place, and it kind of ends. It's like a happy ending at the table as they eat those crab cakes.
Yeah, I did like the much memed Kyle and Garcelle peeking around the corner. You thought it was too much?
Then I don't like it. Unfortunately,
I think it's a funny image.
It's a funny image, but they saw, what was the last peeking? We just saw peeking, I swear, 8 months ago. We saw, I didn't like it on OC when they were all peeking out the window, and they're like, let me get it. Like, my theory is you should be doing something entertaining on your own, and I thought it was way overly exaggerated. Avi peeking them, and then they made that big silly, like, run up the stairs and scatter so they don't know. It's a little funny, but I think that it's very soon going to become a little too much. Everyone wants that moment where they listen. The
only peeking meme that I will ever use is Kim Richards looking out the blinds.
Totally. What was she looking at?
I try to remember. Was it like she was waiting for people to come over or something? Like,
was she making the salad and then she did that?
Maybe. Like, there was like a homecoming dance or something.
If one Bravo celebrity wants to go instantly viral in the Bravo universe, the next thing that happens, put a cup to your ear and do the wall. Who, like, if anyone does that, that's their meme. That could have
been Meredith and what's her name?
Brittany should have.
Heather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they could have, or Brittany, when she was listening to Meredith barf, she could have done a cup to the ear. That's going viral. Whoever wants it, have it. Okay. Anything else for that?
No, it just looks like next week everyone's starting to turn on Dorit and Bose's alliance. Like, I think Garcelle says, stop being Dorit's spokesperson. And I think Kyle gets pissed at Dorit for agreeing with everything Bose says. So people are starting to be like, what's with you two?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. And it's too much of an unshakable alliance, where they just immediately were like, we are best friends and we're ride or die. I mean, I think Bose is still holding a grudge against Kyle. I've seen some interviews where she's like, Kyle never opened up to me and stuff. So I think that feud is still kind of simmering between them. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited for a little bit of a shake up on Beverly Hills when they get back to kind of like mix things up a little bit. Sutton versus Dorit sounds enticing to me.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and we didn't say this up front, but we're going to wait to cover Potomac. Since it's a reunion, we're going to combine them while Riley's away. So we're just going to go into Southern Charm on this one, and that will be that.
Yeah, but it'll be easy for us to combine. We'll have all of the pure joy as we watch both parts, as we rip through it. But I want to tease it. Andy even said, he goes, that's one of the best first parts of a reunion we've ever had. It sounds like everyone is loving Potomac. Some people love just like when they get to the reunion because reunions are so fun. So I'm so excited. I feel like my expectations are properly calibrated for a great reunion. It already looked so good. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week when I'm home. I can't do that. I can't do too much.
Do you think do we know if it's 2 or 3 parts?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably 2,
Yeah, especially if Karen's not even there.
Right. That's a huge hole that they're not going to be able to fill. Okay, Southern Charm, I think we can rip through it until we get to Bahamas, but we'll take it, we'll do a good job.
Bahama Blues.
Bahama Blues. Have you ever had the Bahama Blues?
I've never been to the Bahamas, so maybe I have the blues that I haven't been there.
Me too. I want to go to the Bahamas so bad. So I have the Bahama Blues a little bit.
You're close to there now, aren't you? Like, it would be easy for you to get there.
I know. Maybe we should be away from home longer with Penny and go take a little surprise trip to the Bahamas. Craig instantly puts on a hat, a hat for for his trip, and he goes, "I'm going to show this to Paige to piss her off."
Yeah.
And Paige gets pissed. She goes, "Take that off." She goes, "That's one of the worst outfits I've ever seen. Please stop it. Take it off." And he goes, "I'm doing kind of clothes that Shep would wear." And she goes, "Oh, that's pure shit."
Yeah. He also says later when he's in the Bahamas that since Paige isn't there, he gets to wear flip-flops because she has a no flip-flops rule.
Do you think, here's a question, this could be the stupidest question you've ever heard in your life, but do you think Paige gave Craig enough style tips in their 3 years that he can last for like 50 years or, God willing, 70 years, or however long he wants to live? You think in 3 years he went to style school and now he can use the things he learned with Paige forever?
Well, I would say maybe partially because I'm sure she was just like actively styling him. Not that I think Paige's style is like the end all be all personally, but like,
damn.
I mean, whatever. But
style changes, fashion changes. They say big
true.
Pants are in.
That's true. He's gonna start wearing Janko jeans, because like I think he probably generally got like a new point of view, but I think it's hard to maintain that when you then have to like choose stuff and like
I think so too.
Dress yourself.
He got the basics. He's like, wear your belt on inside a shirt. Don't tuck it in. Don't wear black and brown, whatever these basics are. But he is going to have to adapt when clothes change, when we're all wearing big like those big jumpsuits, or when pants go big again. Do you think pants are going to go back to skinny again?
Eventually.
I'm just going to keep the jeans that I have and just hope in 10 to 15 years it goes back.
Yeah. I know that the youngers are wearing like low rise and stuff, which I shan't ever be revisiting.
I shan't as well. I don't want my fashion dictated by young people.
No, sorry, but they look like shit.
Yeah, they always do. And you know, when you look back on photos of how you're dressed, the only time you're embarrassed of what you wore and think you look like shit is when you were young, between 0 and 25 years old. You don't look back at 50-year-olds and be like, "What the fuck were you wearing?" It's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're just wearing clothes normal.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a photo album yesterday because I had a bunch of like stray old pics, and for me, when I was a tween. And in that era, just every single shirt was like Roxy, like Hurley, Volcom.
You and I were like high school twin spirits. You were younger than me, but I was Billabong boy, Hurley head, Roxy,
yeah,
Rockstar,
yeah.
Rockstar,
So
big
there's not even
pants.
that much. I didn't do the big pants, but
yeah, I did.
It's not. I didn't have that much to be embarrassed about because it was so like, I'm like, okay, like a Volcom hoodie, like who cares, you know?
My stepdad, anytime he goes, "You were wearing the biggest pants I've ever seen," he goes, "What the hell were you thinking?" And it's true. I look back, we're in these big Billabong pants, and I think that's why I'm so scarred. I'm never going to go big again.
Did you show your boxers? Like, did you have them out a little bit?
I'm absolutely sure. And like, all I needed to wear when I was young was just jeans and a shirt and shoes, and I would have been fine. But I couldn't handle those basic things. I was wearing big, gigantic shorts, bowling shoes, Ren and Stimpy shirts.
Did you have frosted tips?
Amy, you just nailed my style perfectly. Yes, in 8th grade, my hair stylist said, "Riley, do you want frosted tips?" And I go, say no more. Blonde in the front, spiked up. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Chasing trends is the detriment to everyone. That fails you. It's only for 6 months that you're gonna like that shit.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I'm glad we had fashion talk. What Paige can't come. This is a little bit of who's coming.
Yeah.
Paige can't come, which I kind of wish that she was on the trip. I would have liked more stuff going on. And then Madison kind of has to justify why she's going on the trip. She kind of makes Craig say for her, "I think you should go," because she didn't want the audience to be like, "Why the hell did Madison leave Brett in a time of need?" She explains very clearly, Brett's gone. Hudson is gone.
Little Hurley.
So, and then Craig goes, "Well, you know what? It makes perfect sense. Instead of being home alone, you should be on a trip." And Madison goes, "Oh, that is an interesting way of thinking." It's like she just needed another cast member to give her the green flag to go.
Yeah. I feel like, do you think, I understand that Paige said she had 2 photo shoots or whatever, but I'm like, I guess she's not beholden to this show, you know, like I assume that they pay her some.
She probably gets the friend of rate after 3 or 4 seasons. It just keeps getting bumped up, but I don't think she gets full-time cast member rate, and that's why she's kind of just denying them her on a trip.
Yeah, and Madison goes, "I'm just celebrating every day that I'm not pregnant," and Paige goes, "You and me both, sister," and Craig is like,
Yeah, Craig looks back and forth. He's like, "Oh my God, that's something that I don't want to hear."
Yeah. And,
do you think Craig was being honest with that K1 shit he was talking about?
Oh my God. Yeah. He was like, "Since I'm a lawyer," which I'm like, anyone who watches 90 Day Fiancé knows what a K1 visa is.
Oh, of course.
Once you're engaged, you can start the process to get a visa. And Craig is like, "I'm a lawyer, don't you forget. Like, I could write that stuff up for Sienna and Shep." And Madison's like, she literally like doesn't even talk to him. She ghosted him. Why would they get engaged?
Yeah, totally. Okay, Shep needs an outfit too. And he goes with Molly shopping at this really cool store. What'd you think about that store?
Oh yeah, just what Shep needs, more printed button-ups.
Yeah, and Molly has a crush on Shep. It's kind of known. Even Shep knows it. And Molly, she goes, "Shopping with your crush is kind of awkward because you're like, buy these pants." And like
bikini shopping, no less.
Yeah, and so they're like looking at each other. And then he says, this was kind of a fun moment. They get some amazing stuff. Some really cool stuff. And then he goes, "Guess what? I'm going to get Sienna. I'm going to hit her with one of the best presents she can ever have in her life. I'm going to get her a megalodon tooth for her to wear." And these teeth, I'm looking them up. Go on YouTube if you want to see. They're huge. What is it? A huge prehistoric shark?
Tooth.
Is it? It's prehistoric, right? Like bigger than Jaws.
Yeah, and then they have a clip of him giving the same gift to Taylor because apparently he has a buddy who finds shark teeth. And I'm like, I hate to tell you, but at least from my point of view, sharks are cool, but I'm not fucking wearing a shark tooth necklace. Who thinks that a woman wants to wear that?
Shep, and it's so nice he wanted to do it twice. I mean, that is his go-to gift. And then Taylor was loving it. I wonder if she still has it.
That's like the funniest. It's like the ugliest thing.
Yeah, but
so funny.
But he does have a connection. He says he knows a shark tooth guy who goes diving and gets those megalodon teeth or whatever. But we don't see the reveal of him. I hope it's on camera when he gave her that shark tooth.
Imagine
necklace.
if Craig gave Paige a shark tooth necklace. The response he would get. She would roast him to the high heavens.
She'd go, I'm never wearing this, Craig. Take it back wherever you got it, for sure. JT and Vanita, I think we can skimp on this scene. I don't understand. JT, they show a flashback because I was like, how are they going to explain JT going on this trip? Everyone hates him. He hasn't talked to people in months. But then they have the Shep scene where Shep goes, I think you got to come to the Bahamas, please, or whatever. So JT's like, I'm glad I'm going. He's talking to Vanita, and they've decided to cool down the flames of passion between them because JT has a girlfriend.
Yeah. It's boring. She's just like, you should make up with everybody. And he's like, I'm probably going to go, but I'm going to come late.
Can I go to a quick Southern Charm, quick tangent? Mm-hmm. There's rumors bubbling up. Oh, right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ryan, some other people said that the true reason why JT is being ostracized to the degree in which he is that he's either dating or friends with someone that multiple Southern Charm cast members have a restraining order against. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know who the people are. And it's too touchy for them to show it on camera because it's legal stuff. So they're all like, JT, we don't want to be around that person secondhand, third hand, or something. So in reality, in that scene at the Airbnb where Craig was getting so pissed and walking off, they didn't want to be associated with something that JT was divulging from that party that they don't want to be associated with. Did you hear that rumor?
Yeah, I saw a TikTok about that, and I've been hearing that for a while now.
And Ryan, I think, came out with something. He's not going to be at the reunion, but he said, I think he just point blank said, this is the true reason why we were so pissed at JT.
Interesting. I mean, it had to be something, so that makes sense, I guess. It
makes more sense than what we have to go off for why they're treating him like this. Austin and Rodrigo, This scene was so boring. No offense to them.
Flop.
They go. Rod just goes, "Hey, so Shep and Sienna, that things seem bad." And Austin goes, "Yeah, I know about that too. It's bad. I mean, the audience definitely knows about that." So, and they just drink margaritas, and then it's pretty much over.
Yeah, they talk about Taylor.
One thing that Rodrigo did is that he goes, yeah, Shep called me when I was with Taylor, and then they show the flashback, and Rodrigo put Shep on speakerphone and let Taylor hear a confidential conversation where he was talking about the disaster of him and Sienna's relationship, and he was talking about her being like inexperienced and stuff, and Taylor just got to listen to her ex-boyfriend like have this emotional moment with someone that, Shep probably didn't want Taylor to hear that.
Yes. Yeah, she's like all pissed off about, you can tell that she's feeling like righteous indignation about the way Shep treats his girlfriends in general, which comes up later in the
She's
Bahamas.
Like, you're not the end all be all knowing God. Right. You don't know everything. So when that inexperienced thing was like a trigger word for her, and that's when she decides to launch that tirade later.
Yes. And she does tell her mom that Shep broke her heart. And so, she's nervous to be around him. And they show us a clip of a girls' night that they didn't share. That did look like it got rowdy. I don't know how much, quality it was going to bring to the show to be left in, but it did look like all the girls were doing handstands and the worm and, blowing it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it over that Austin and Rodrigo scene. You had 6 minutes there. Yeah, I didn't need a retread of the Sienna conversation. I mean, I would have taken them doing the worm and handstands and having fun. That's the scene that they all were posting. They're like, look, the editors don't want to show us having fun, and then they like posted the clips from that, and it looked like Sally and Taylor, had a moment where they kind of buried the hatchet a little bit, and that context would have been good to know why they're all like on the same page as they get to the Bahamas. But I guess they did show it, a little bit of it.
Yeah. I saw Leva commented like, y'all missed a good one or something like that. Like they're all trying to like show the audience. They're like, we do stuff.
They're pissed at the editors.
We're trying to be fun.
Yeah, they're pissed. I mean, Molly was doing the worm.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the worm?
I don't think I could.
I don't think I could either. But what is it? You lift your head up.
It's kind of like a push-up, and then I don't know. I think it takes some upper body strength.
All right, yeah. We'll do it next time we're in person. Let's try it out.
Okay, cool.
Okay, then
at the airport, Vanita's not answering her phone. Do they say she missed her flight? Like, it's kind of confusing.
They don't explain it. Madison goes, "Where's Vanita? We're about to board." Vanita's not answering. And then the only time they ask again is someone goes, "When is Vanita arriving?" And they go, "She's arriving tomorrow." They don't tell us what happened to Vanita. She missed the cast trip that she was supposed to go on.
That's kind of surprising. She seems pretty buttoned up. And then Sienna, they do like an edit where when Shep lands at like baggage claim, he's calling her for minutes and minutes and she doesn't answer. But then ultimately they like, before she answers, everyone's like, if my significant other was flying in, I would be at the airport. I can't believe she's not answering. And then like 1 minute later she does answer. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I thought they made a little too much of that, and it was kind of just like it's not. I don't think it's truly indicative of a sour relationship that she didn't show up to the carousel at the airport.
We'll have plenty evidence. We don't even need that to be the thing because it's pretty clear when she arrives that she hates his ass.
But I just mean that they were making so much of it in the edit, and they even had in the edit they had his ringing phone, and they panned to everyone, and everyone was going. Like they're all like shocked, like she's not answering, and then she answers on the third ring. She goes, "I'll see you soon."
3 people's confessionals where they're like, she should be like holding up a sign saying like "welcome" or whatever. Yeah. So then they go to this hotel, and Craig is immediately furious that they don't each have their own room. Before they even like negotiated who would sleep where or whatever, he's like slamming the door. He's like, no one in their 30s should have to share. Like he gets so psycho about the room selections. Like, fucking relax.
Yeah, what is that about him? He gets into a place that he's staying and he demands perfection. He's like, I'm 36. I don't share a bedroom. I ordered my own room and we're not poor, so I shouldn't have to share. Like he was really, throwing a tantrum. But then I was like, okay, that's bad. And I don't like that Craig behavior. But then they kind of made too much of it. 5 minutes of Rodrigo going, that's annoying. That's annoying. Craig is so shitty. That's horrible. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I get it. But just like, get over it. It wasn't that big.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, Craig, if you get your own room, like that's sort of like a filming issue. Like you guys have to share because they want you all in the same place for filming.
Yeah. And then Shep at one point, he's really pissed at Craig, but he's not even like talking to him about it. He's upset because the Sienna thing, he's in his head about it, and he's pissed off at Craig. He's like, I wouldn't care if Craig wanted to get another bedroom, to be honest. He's just like not liking Craig's energy as they get there.
Yeah. And then they kind of hang out all day. They're like by the pool and they're all there, and Shep is talking to everyone about Sienna, and he's like, hey everyone, like now that we're here, I wanted to let you know Sienna did a lot of work for us on this trip. And Taylor goes, Santa?
Yeah. And he goes, no, Sienna. And Madison goes, well, she might as well be Santa because we don't see her.
And they're like, and then they're like, are you guys exclusive? And he's like, I am. I don't know about her. And they're like, what the hell? And he's like, we've said I love you. Or Taylor says, when did you say I love you? And she's like, did you mean it or were you drunk? And he goes, I felt it. And she goes, did you feel it on the tip of your dick?
Yeah, and Madison loves it. They're cracking each other up with this
like,
sort
okay,
of
Statler and Waldorf over there.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone was drunk already.
Yeah. Okay, Taylor Unfiltered stand-up comedy set.
Seriously, I was like, okay. And then Taylor says that when they were dating, he drunkenly said I love you to her in the first 2 weeks.
Whoa. They call it that. Love bombing.
Yeah, so she was like when he said that, I was like, no, you don't. You're just drunk or whatever, even though they went on to date for years.
Yeah. And then she kind of goes in, Shep's defending himself. And then she says, you know what's the problem? You're being horrible. It's you. You're the one miscommunicating. You haven't told her your true feelings. And then everyone goes, no, Taylor, sorry. You don't know what you're talking about. Sienna doesn't call him back. We've all talked about this. Yeah. Sienna is kind of leading him on in a way, and he's bummed out about it. And then she goes, I think it's the other way around. But then,
she's like, you're fucking up a really good situation. And he's like, I'm trying so hard to make her like me. Like, she literally hates me. She won't talk to me ever. Yeah. And then they talk about Gaston. Like, Shep is like, he never comes around. And Taylor's like, why would he come around when all everyone does is like smash his reputation?
Yeah, well, it's like, you have to. And Shep goes, I would never let anybody not let me come around, which is true. I mean, we've seen that on Southern Charm. People have been talking shit about Shep for 10 years. I have to ask you really quick. I don't want to go too long, but I haven't asked you this yet. How far did you get in your Southern hospitality journey?
I think I half-ass watched season 2, episode 1 yesterday. So I'm through the doldrums of season 1, which was pretty bad.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes. Well, let's just really quickly. Like, it is. Well, no, let's not talk about it. Let's save a Southern Charm section for when I'm back. But I also like the final scene of season 1 where 2 people confront Joe Bradley. Like, Mia's like, "You kissed me, but you like Maddie," and they're both screaming at him. They thought that was so iconic. I was like, this is like the most low level shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. But Maddie's boyfriend on the premiere has been accused of cheating. So there's some energy there in the sense that she confronts him and he won't let the cameras in, which is always fun.
Well, I won't spoil that underwhelming reveal.
He didn't do it. Or he did, and who cares?
Yeah. So when you get to season 3, once we both catch up, we'll do a 20-30 minute Southern Hospitality minute. But I want to talk about my absolute favorite scene in history. Okay. It's so funny because it immediately brings a full spark of life to a very, boring franchise up to that point. But finally in season 3, there's some real energy, and the Gaston stuff is coming up.
Okay, cool. Is not that long either, or is it?
I don't know. I don't think
it's
so.
11 episodes.
And then
including a reunion.
I already talked about it. They get it's 30 minutes. Andy's like, come on, watch what happens live is starting. Get out of here. He gives them no time at all. But yeah, Taylor goes, Gaston is not coming around because of that. And then you want to say when they kind of come back, they say, let's get ready for dinner. Let's take a little break. I'm going to wear flip flops. Craig says.
Yeah. And Craig brushes Shep's hair. Craig and Austin are like, we got to make tonight fun. Shep is so bummed out. We got to keep the energy alive. And it is, I guess, odd that Sienna didn't come all day. She didn't come until 6 p.m. or something.
Yeah, and we, and you said it. We know why now. We kind of know the truth. She's just not very interested in being a part of this experience with Shep at all. She doesn't truly, seems like she doesn't love him, like how he loves her. But then she does kind of start to come, right? This is when she's walking down the hallway, right? Mm-hmm. She's got all of her stuff.
Is pacing. Austin answers the door for her, and Craig is she's like, hey, it's already immediately awkward. She just seems very uncomfortable and aware of her surroundings. Craig is trying to shoot the shit. He's like, I used to live in the Bahamas. How many generations has your family been here? And she's like 12. And he's trying to get anything out of her to show interest in her, where she lives and stuff. And he said in his confessional, he's like, I've never felt someone's aura like this in my life. It was horrible.
He goes, I have one of the best aura detectors in history. I can sense someone immediately based off their energy. And he goes, I've never felt anything like what was reverberating off of Sienna.
Yeah, I watched the after show. This was, I think, the first episode with an after show, which it's so weird the way how willy-nilly the after shows are, where they're just like, oh, we have time now. This is episode, what, I don't know, 10 or something.
This was the first one?
Yeah, it was episode 1 of after show.
Oh my God, the sound was so horrible on it. They didn't even do a good job. The mixing or whatever between this thing when they showed the flashbacks versus their actual in-studio mic, it was like one of the worst produced after shows I've ever seen.
I think they like did it on a dime because it appears to be like post-breakup for Craig. So like I think they did it like yesterday.
That makes sense then. They're like they want to pick up some of that aftermath there by the time we get to the post-breakup footage.
I think so.
Okay.
And so Craig is like, Sienna was so disingenuous. There was no chemistry or energy between them. And Austin and Rod were like, he said that they all just had to bolt. Like Craig was like, I think we have to check on our reservation. And Austin was like, we have a reservation. Like, we don't need, like, we have our reservation. And Craig's like, I think we need to go ask them about it. Like, can we fucking get out of here? This sucks.
Because their energy was so awkward and uncomfortable together.
Yeah, that they were like, let's just leave.
And yes, totally. It's interesting to hear that perspective now because like they all know that this did not work out, so they're being fully honest. But Shep goes, I need you to look at my clothes to tell me what to wear to dinner, so follow me into my room. And she goes, I want to see the most awkward thing that you brought. And he shows her these shorts, and she goes, those are horrible. Don't wear those. And he goes, well, what about this shirt with a big tiger on it? She goes, absolutely not, right?
Yeah. Craig also said that he felt like when they left that she looked at him like, don't leave me with him. Like she didn't even want to be alone with Shep, which is made clear when he's going to put on his outfit for the night. And she goes, I'll give you some space. Just you change and I'll meet you downstairs. And he's like, more space? Like we're literally like dating. You can watch me change my shirt.
He also goes, oh no. He gives this look to her, kind of a very sad, desperate look, like, please don't leave. He goes, I've changed in front of you literally and figuratively. And she goes, you've changed more figuratively than literally in front of me. Meaning that he hasn't changed too many times into his pajamas, I think, in front of her, right?
Right. And she's just like, anyways, bye-bye. Like, she, like, was in there for 1 minute.
Can I give the Sienna defense?
Okay.
For all the Sienna heads, I think it's part of her. I always take into the camera and the reality show aspect of it. She's never been on the show before. Maybe she didn't want to be in a scene where Shep pulls down his underwear and gets naked on camera with her in the room. That's just not something that she wants to have on reality television for herself. So she's like, I'm going to let you change and be naked for a second. Is there any validity to that?
I don't know. I have a friend that said this, and then I also saw a meme where, again, to bring up 90 Day Fiancé, everyone was like, if you watch 90 Day Fiancé, you're very used to this dynamic where the woman who lives in another country has this American coming and they fucking hate them and want them to leave.
Yeah, no, we've seen it with Big Ed.
Yeah, like she just seems so like over it. Like it looks like she's like there under duress.
So what's the explanation? Are people saying, like, I think Madison alludes to like that she was instantly talking about her like credentials, like does she just want a little bit of spotlight and that's why she's appearing on the show, or what's the point?
I don't get it. Like, why do it then? Or maybe she agreed to do it and then regretted it, but it was too late because there had been so much logistical planning. Like it probably took them like a month to plan this on a production schedule.
But do people think she was just never attracted to Shep ever? Like, and he was just he was in love with her. He's like head over heels, and she was just always probably distant. They've only seen each other 6 times, or was like, so I don't know. Maybe he just completely has an over exaggerated a vision of what this relationship is. Whereas for Sienna, she's not that attracted to him, and maybe was trying to wean herself off by the time this trip came about, Yeah.
Shep said that a week before the trip, Sienna was like, we need to talk.
Oh.
And he was like, well, we're going to do it on camera then, because that's just the kind of cast member I am. So I assume that will go down on the show.
Okay, so then that's Sienna. Sienna's leaving because of that. She's like, we're not in a relationship where I want to see you naked anymore and change. That
Right.
That makes sense. If she wanted to have a talk with him before the Bahamas trip, she is not as enthralled with him anymore, and so I'm not going to have a special moment where you get dressed in front of me. I'm leaving you to it.
Yeah, because Shep said originally when they had first talked about the trip that she was excited. She was like, I'm going to meet with the tourism board. Like, we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what curdled. And then we can't forget the Whitney of it all. Like, it seems like she did want her way in originally. And then maybe once it started, she was like, actually, this sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a story for her grandma, who's like the #1 Southern Charm fan. It's like, look, I'm gonna match with Whitney.
Someone who was saying, they were like, maybe it was Madison. No, who was it on the after show? Someone was like, you're going to fuck somebody for your grandma? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, who knows? And then Sienna leaves him to it. He's sad there. You know, he's going to put on that shirt. And then they leave us with that. So that's the start of the Bahama Blues for Shep.
Yes. And on the after show, Madison, I assume if it was filmed recently, she was pregnant while she said this, but she was like, now that Brett's healthy, we'll start trying to have a baby. I'm not pregnant now, but like hopefully soon, but she probably was. And
Brett's healthy again?
That's what she said.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, she didn't get into it, but she like kind of one off, was like, now that he's got the green light, like we can do that.
Oh, good.
And Craig is in the confessional with her, and he goes, maybe I'll adopt a baby. And like, that's what made me think that it was post breakup, because he was like, maybe I'll just like adopt a baby.
I think you're right. I think they said, cameras up. Let's get some thoughts on this thing. It doesn't matter when we started. I think they did that for Summer House too. They did it like 7 episodes in, just like randomly. So cool. Well, good. I mean, we got to the root of that episode, right?
I think so. So yeah, we'll have Potomac coming later, and then other shows next time.
As is the Turtle Time way. Next time you hear an episode, there will be some shows that are definitely covered. For sure, Potomac, 2 parts. I want to do that. We need to capture that lightning in a bottle. So we'll cover that, and then we'll do whatever the hell else we do. But whatever happens with my schedule when I get back, we will cover absolutely everything in some way. Yeah. I know that.
When is that Love Hotel supposed to be on?
I don't know. They haven't dropped even the full trailer. It was just
teaser.
So it's Giselle, Ashley, Luann, Shannon, and they're going to go to a hotel and meet a bunch of suitors and potentially fall in love.
Sounds fun.
I wonder if this happened post Nams and Josh, because in my world, Ashley is, to the moon with Josh. So I wonder, this was probably I don't know. I can't tell, but I think Ashley's heart is for Josh.
In the finale text, it said she was casually dating Josh. I felt like that was pointed when they put that in.
The casual part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was because they knew that show was coming, that they're like, she can do what she wants, by the way.
Right. She could still find love here at Love Hotel. Ashley, we have to congratulate her. Ashley, good job getting divorced completely from Michael Darby. You all, we say divorce is not a failure of marriage. Any years that a marriage lasts is a success. So congratulations on your marriage. Congratulations on getting divorced.
It was printed in the RHOP news.
It was awesome. Ashley did the coolest thing in the world. It's her reading a paper, and it says, extra, extra, read all about it. Michael Darby and Ashley are officially divorced. And, that's it.
Have fun in that Florida sunshine.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I will. I can't wait to get back out in the Florida atmosphere. I'm going to hang out with Florida Man later.
Oh, whoa.
All right, okay. I'm gonna say the things because we this is pretty succinct Turtle Time. An hour and 37 minutes. Like, damn, you guys. We ripped through it. I'm gonna say, if you liked this little brush of Beverly Hills and Southern Charm, please, if you enjoyed it, say I liked this episode, and maybe review us on one of those platforms. If you listen, you enjoyed it, you have 30 seconds, maybe give us a little review. And then lastly, I'll say, you've probably heard this 100 times. I couldn't imagine how many times you've heard this, but Amy and I, we have a sanctuary, a wonderful place called the Villa Rosa VIP Patreon community, where for $5 a month, once you subscribe, you become a Villa Rosa VIP. And like you and I, it's Monday when we're recording this, we're getting all the wonderful comments that flow in from an episode. And people are like, 77%. 3%. And I go, what the hell did Amy and I talk about? But we have fun stuff like that where we talk about Vanderpump Rules. We're recapping Vanderpump Rules from the very beginning, from season 1 all the way to season 6. We're about halfway through, and we are at the It's Not About the Pasta era. Brittany and Jax cheating on Brittany. So much fun stuff, and every single week you get a brand new episode of that. I think it's a fun place to be. Do you think, Amy?
It's rippin'. Yeah, Not About the Pasta is only the beginning.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we dissected It's Not About the Pasta. We gave the full, we gave the new context for it. We dissected that completely. So, Villa Rosa VIPs, I want to thank you for being the best part of Turtle Time and for making such an amazing, wonderful space for us to share our true thoughts. And anybody who wants to join, it's $5 a month, and you get access to over 90 episodes of that. So, I hope that's enticing. Deal. Yeah, great. Well, Amy, thank you for letting me go. I'm going to let you go as well, and I can't wait to see you someday in person again.
Hell yeah. See ya.
All right, goodbye.